In order to come to some sort of a conclusion as to how those negotiations went, I felt it important to look at the context under which the incident occurred and the subsequent negotiations took place. And from my various readings and research, I came to the conclusion that three factors worked towards both the creation of the crisis and also its subsequent resolution. The first, of course, was the very rapid modernization of the People's Liberation Army that has taken place under President Xi Jinping. In particular, this reorganization has involved the redrawing of areas which India faces on its border, in that it now unites the former military regions of Lanchao and Chengdu into a single theatre command, which the command's strategic direction is towards India. And in addition to that reorganization, I also looked at the increasing emphasis that the Chinese are placing on practical combat training. And my conclusion was that as a result of the push to make this training much more realistic and much more in real time, the Chinese and the PLA in particular took certain risks in terms of training, and that could have been one factor that contributed to the crisis. The second factor, of course, was, I think, the concern on the Chinese side that in the last 5 or 8 years, India had substantially ramped up its infrastructure building all along the line of actual control, not just in terms of roads, but also in terms of other military infrastructure, which the Chinese probably felt would make it much more difficult for them to continue patrolling in certain areas with the ease that they had done in the past. So, in a sense, they used strategic coercion to dissuade us from continuing with that. Although, of course, on their side of the LAC, they continued to build infrastructure at a rapid pace. And I think that may have been a second reason for the incidents in East Ladakh. Finally, I do also draw the assumption that the Chinese have looked at Indian foreign policy from the American lens over the last 10 years and have increasingly felt that we are tilting towards the United States. So, in a sense, the application of military pressure on us was also, I think, a means of telling us that they were uncomfortable with the direction of our foreign policy and that we needed to make changes to it. I would say that these are three of the reasons. There may perhaps be more, but these are what I think did eventually drive them to that increased patrolling and those joint exercises on the LAC, and eventually to the mishap that occurred.